Was the king of Pokemon card investing onto something here? Collection boxes. Just look at them all. Gyarados, or Mega Gyarados I should say, EX collection boxes from back in XY era. Now it doesn't feel like Rudy can put a foot wrong in the hobby, so shout out to him. One of the GOATs, the OGs of the Pokemon investing space, or TCG space, full stop. When it comes to investing and having so much product. But let's talk collection boxes. It's often a topic overshadowed. It's overshadowed by booster boxes, it's overshadowed by Pokemon Center Elite Trainer boxes, it's overshadowed by Ultra Premium collections, and it's even overshadowed by regular Elite Trainer boxes. But can collection boxes actually prove to be a good investment? Now, before you go out and rush and buy all the collection boxes in the world, let's just briefly discuss a few negatives when it comes to collection boxes. Collection boxes can be quite bulky. They're difficult to store. You need a lot of space. Sometimes the glue on the edges can come undone. Sometimes the plastic that holds things inside can come undone. Sometimes the packs inside there can come loose from the spot they're supposed to sit and move around in the box. They're also expensive to ship. There are lots and lots of downsides to collection boxes. However, let's talk some upside. One thing that I really like in the investing space at the moment is turning attention to places where others aren't looking. Now look, this can be a double-edged sword because sometimes it can come back and bite you in the backside, because if no one at all is looking at a product, sometimes it can mean it's a bad product. But quite often, products can sometimes sneak up under the radar and prove to be really, really good investments. And quite often they're the ones that people aren't paying 100% attention to. Maybe some people are, but others, or the vast majority, really aren't, because they're going after the thing that everyone else is chasing. So sometimes buying the thing that is a little bit, cheaper or underrated and that doesn't have heaps of attention on can sometimes prove to be a really, really good investment. So Rudy, let's jump back to his video, which was, it would have been 9 or 10 years ago now that he made that video. And he talked about Mega Gyarados EX collection boxes that, his distribution reached out to him and offered him a deal on them. I believe that's the crux of the matter. Correct me if I'm wrong. And these I think were wholesale somewhere around $15 to $20 and I don't know what retail was. Maybe retail was $25 or something, or $29.99, whatever it might have been back then. And they offered him to him, I believe, at $11 a piece, and he picked up 1,000 of them. I mean, why wouldn't you? If you're $11 a piece. There's 4 XY era packs, which means you're buying the packs essentially at $2.50. You're getting promos inside there, plus the little Gyarados or the Mega Gyarados figurine inside there. And I've done some research into what these are selling for now. So Rudy bought these at $11 a piece. The latest sale on eBay, this is eBay's latest sale, and it doesn't show us what the final offer accepted was, but it was $880 best offer accepted. So I mean, that is 80 times the price they were bought. To put that into perspective, I mean, if you bought a booster box at $100, it would now have to be worth $8,000 to get the same returns. So with all that in mind, can collection boxes be a solid investment? Before we jump in and answer that topic, I just wanted to give a shout out to today's video sponsor, which is of course the Collector app. There'll be a link in the description to download it. You can follow my journey down in the content creators section. The Collector app has everything you need from an investing and a collecting standpoint. You can put all your sealed, all your singles inside there. It is the one-stop shop. There is so much data to be seen. You can look at set analytics for any set, English, Japanese, showing your total set value. Look at the top hits inside a set. Look at graded populations. Look at whether you can do a fair trade between your card and someone else's, or your sealed product and someone's graded card, whatever it might be. You can look at your total portfolio. It shows you the market movement of your portfolio. It's the one-stop shop for investing and collecting in Pokemon cards or any other TCG. So again, link in the description to download that one. So Rudy's made a play, and again, unless you have the level of storage he has, it's maybe not the best investment for you. We've gone over the negatives on it, so I don't want to dwell any more on the negatives. Let's talk the positives. So collection boxes can prove to be good investments. And I'll tell you why. Let's answer that question. What makes a good collection box? Well, it's pretty simple in my eyes. It needs to tick a few boxes. forgive the pun. It needs to have a good pack selection inside there. You need to have some good packs, some sought after packs. If there's only weak packs inside it, it's not going to give you it'll still go up. Everything sealed Pokemon goes up. It's insane. And to touch on that, and I know I'm moving off topic here a little bit, talking collection boxes, everyone, I guess, gets sucked in a little bit. When they first get into the investing space, what they do is they go into the store or maybe they jump online, but more often than not, they go into the store because if they go into a local store, a local gaming store, a local Walmart, a local Target, a local Kmart here in Australia, you grab what you can off the shelf because you can have it straight away. And then you go, lock it in the cupboard, put it on display, that's my collection. And it's all just ultra modern, poor products that are left on the shelf. And everyone falls into that trap. And even I did that a little bit at the start. I remember I went and bought some Vivid Voltage Alakazam EX boxes back in 2020. Now, geez, 2020, it's 6 years ago now, far out. Time absolutely flies, doesn't it? Like, geez, we just seem to be getting older and older. But anyway, and I bought those Alakazam EX boxes and I thought, oh, Vivid Voltage, it's the set of the moment. It's got a Rainbow Pikachu, it's got amazing rares, the Pokemon's coming out of the border again, they're almost like gold stars. And you know what, that set just got printed and printed and printed. And you think, oh, Alakazam, pretty good Pokemon, but the promos were nothing really, like they were worth nothing. Vivid Voltage was worth nothing. And you know what, they sat at the same price for me for like 5 years. It's only just recently, I guess with the big boom and the fact that there's really no cheap Pokemon card packs left on the market, did they really start to move in price at all? And I think they've doubled in price in the last 12 months, those Alakazam Vivid Voltage EX boxes. And that's really because just the whole market's moved. It's not anything probably to do with that collection box. But I guess the point I'm trying to make is, even the weakest boxes can make gains over time. Now, of course, if I'd invested that money in something else, like back in 2020, even if I'd bought 2-3 pack blisters of, Cosmic Eclipse or Unbroken Bonds instead of those collection boxes, my return on investment would be so far ahead buying those three pack blisters, it's not funny. But also back then, I could have bought one collection box of maybe a Sun and Moon era with some good pack selections and a good promo, and I also could have been absolutely flying. So there are good collection boxes, and I know that story is a roundabout way to get you to what I was wanting to talk about. So the first point is, when it comes to a good collection box, I think the very first thing is, how does it look? What's the artwork? What's the Pokemon in question? Is it a fan favorite Pokemon? Like if it's a Weedle EX collection box with Weedle promos inside there, it's probably not going to be all that sought after. However, if it's something like a Mewtwo collection box, an Umbreon collection box, a Charizard and Reshiram collection box, a Gyarados collection box, and case in point, Gyarados collection box made a comeback back at the start of Scarlet and Violet era during Obsidian Flames, where you got, I think, a couple of Obsidian Flames packs, a couple of Paldea Evolved, and a couple of Scarlet and Violet base. And these are already going for nearly $200 a box. So case in point, the first thing is, which Pokemon is being represented as part of the box? What does the artwork look like? That's important. Now, that doesn't make up the whole value of the box, but it generally means the promo that you're getting, and that's the next really important part. Is there a good promo inside there? Because quite often, some of these collection box promos, and what's the one from Sun and Moon? Is it Small But Mighty, or Small But Mighty and Tough or something? You get the Jigglypuff promo, and that thing's worth heaps of money in a PSA 10. Quite often they grade bad, like they got a really poor gem rate because the quality control of keeping those promos in good condition while they're inside a big box rather than inside a nicely tight pack of 11 cards is quite difficult. So that's the next part. The promo needs to be really, really good. So nice box art, just to reiterate, or featured Pokemon on the box will lead to, a good promo with a good featured Pokemon in the promo. And keep in mind, it needs to have good artwork as well. Like you think of that Vivid Voltage box, it's got Alakazam, so it should be good, but the promo is just so weak. Like it's not a nice promo of Alakazam. So, straight away, the artwork of the card, although it was a good Pokemon, the artwork of the card brought the value down there. Now, the third part, of course, is does it have a good pack selection, or what is the pack selection inside these boxes? And quite often it's really funny, like I've seen a few collection boxes and you look at them and some of them from Sword and Shield, you know, you might get, 2 or 3 Fusion Strike packs inside there, and you might get, a couple of, Battle Styles or Chilling Reign inside there, and that's the 6 packs you get or the 8 packs you get. And you actually add all the packs together based on TCG market price for those individual packs, and it's cheaper to buy the whole box than it is to buy those individual packs. So sometimes there are actually some bargains on there. So that's the next important part. How good are the packs inside it? And finally, is there some other trinket you get as part of the collectible? You look at those Gyarados, Mega Gyarados EX collection boxes from way back in XY era. Fan favorite Pokemon Gyarados, promo of Gyarados. Pack selection, arguably not the best. It's not like it's a Flashfire or Phantom Forces collection box, but anything given some age will just go up in price. And the fact probably that it has Roaring Skies inside there helps, but it also has a little figurine inside there. That's the fourth part of what's going to add value to a collection box is there a nice little figurine or something inside there of a fan favorite Pokemon that features on the box. So I'm not here telling you to go out and just go invest in all collection boxes. It's not what I'm telling you at all. However, diversifying in a nice collection box is a bit of fun, because what you've got to remember is investing in Pokemon cards is the fun investment. The boring investment is going and opening a share portfolio and clicking a button and going, yep, $20 brokerage fee. I'm going to buy, $20,000 worth of Coca-Cola shares, $20,000 worth of such and such shares, $20,000 of a bank share, and just click, 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 done. And you're just like, okay, well, let me track my portfolio every so often inside the app. And okay, that one's down today, that one's up today, that one's sideways today. Pretty boring, isn't it? Pokemon's the fun part. Why? It's tangible, it's nostalgic, it brings back good memories. It's the fun part. And just buying sealed booster box cases, even that's quite boring. Like, you don't even get to see them. They're just sealed booster box cases. So that's why I think it's fun sometimes to try your luck a little bit. What have you got to lose? If there's a nice collection box that's come out, it might look great as part of your display. And you know what? You might spend $50 on it, but in 6 years' time, it might be worth $450. Is it going to perform as well as a Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box? Probably not, especially not if you bought it at recommended retail price. But you know what? There's some collection boxes that can actually be surprisingly good. So I guess to summarize the whole thing, again, I'm not telling you to go out and buy every collection box. I'm telling you to focus on what is a good collection box. And I'm also saying that sometimes it's fun to diversify your portfolio. Isn't that the whole idea behind it? Well, there you go. The great man, just to round out the video, Rudy, is of course always onto something. Always seems to know the right plays to make, doesn't he? There's something behind that. I'm Michael. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Your support means a lot, and I'll catch everyone next time.